Good morning and welcome to EMTV. A number of psychology students demand a full exam review, but their study program has restricted the access since the pandemic. Exam review has been an ongoing battle between university and students, and we will discuss about it today. But first, news. Rutger Engels will be stepping down as Rector Magnificus for personal reasons. His decision is unexpected as he was appointed for a 4-year term but is already leaving after 2.5 years. According to him, he feels a strong obligation to contribute in the field of mental health. Engels will stay on as Professor of Psychopathology. Temporary contracts are still a big problem at universities. More than half of the lecturers in Rotterdam have it. Other universities seem to do it better than the Erasmus University. However, at national level, there has been no movement on this issue in the last 3 years. Members of University Rebellion protested on campus Woudenstein last week. University doesn't do enough to combat climate change. The students also find it unacceptable that Erasmus University works with companies such as Shell. The executive board received their manifesto via email. The pandemic has hit campus entrepreneurs hard. We visited the food plaza to see how the entrepreneurs are surviving the crisis. Hoe gaat het met de zaak?
Het gaat. We doen er het beste van. We proberen te overleven.
Hoeveel klanten heb je nu ongeveer per dag?
Ongeveer nu zitten we tussen de 80 klanten en 100. En voorheen was dat rond de 350, 400. Dus we draaien ongeveer 20 tot 25% van vorig jaar.
Customers as in walk in, we have probably like maybe 10, 15 people or like 10, 15 groups, 10, 15 orders. But then we have also some deliveries and depending on the day it could get busier. But yeah, that's about it.
Hoe zou het dan gaan in de toekomst, denk je?
Ik denk dat het heel erg afhankelijk is van hoe de mensen ook een beetje denken tegenover corona natuurlijk. Het is heel erg afhankelijk, want als de universiteit besluit vanwege de maatregelen we moeten dicht, nou, dan gaan natuurlijk onze klantenaantallen ook omlaag, want wie moeten we anders koffie serveren? Dus dat is heel erg afhankelijk van ook wat het beleid is van de universiteit, van mogen we hier studeren, mogen we hier les hebben en dat soort dingetjes. En daarvan hangt het eigenlijk iedere keer af. We moeten iedere keer afwachten wat de uitkomsten daarvan zijn.
A number of psychology students are demanding a full exam review, but the faculty doesn't grant their wish. Exam review, students' right or another extra work for teaching staff. Here with me in the studio is Jasper Klasen, students and a member of University Council. Yeah. Welcome. And also joining digitally is Bram Steijn, Vice Dean of Education at the Erasmus School of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Good morning, Bram.
Morning.
And we're going to start with you, Jasper. Earlier this year, you won a lawsuit against the university regarding your own exam review. Can you recap on that?
Yeah, sure. So I had an exam, and when I got the grade back, I thought that the grade did not match my expectations. So I requested to inspect my exam, on the one hand in order to learn from my mistakes, because that's very important being a student, but on the other hand also to allow me to check if the grading had been done properly, because that has gone wrong in the past. And my faculty only showed me a percentage of scores at certain topics, quite similar to the situation at ESSB. So I first, they denied my request, and then I appealed that decision first at an EOR level, and then after that at the highest education court in the Netherlands. And they sided with me and they judged that I had the right of full inspection of my exams.
So, Bram, even the most senior education court in the country ruled in students' favor. So why does your faculty still not granting a full access review?
Yeah, but I think there's a misunderstanding, because actually we do. But first, of course, we have a corona situation and not everything is as it should be. That's one. Then the problem is how do you do the full access to full review exams in Corona times? Because we want to do it on campus. Because if you do the full access online with multiple choice exams, that means that all your questions are all over the place because everybody will make screenshots of it.
Okay, so
we said we do it in a two-step procedure. So in the first step, we do what was just said. We show to the students a percentage of their learning goals. And actually, I think that's quite good because not so much the individual questions are important, but how fully you understand what you have to study. Then, if a student say, yeah, that's not enough for me, in that case, he or she can ask for full access on the campus.
Yeah.
The problem only in the Corona times we have now is, of course, that it takes some time. But it still is possible.
Yeah, so this is possible for students who are still in Rotterdam. But how about students who go back to their family and not being in Rotterdam at this moment?
Yeah, I think that's what we are in what I said. We are now in Corona time, so you cannot do everything you want. And we said to students who are studying abroad, we said to them, we do everything we can to make you study as normal as possible. Yeah, but some things are not possible. For instance, we also grant students the possibility to do the exam on campus when they don't want to do it proctored. Of course, obviously, you can't do that when you are abroad. We also offer them the limited access to the multiple choice exams. I said just now, and then indeed they have to come to campus if they want to inspect their exam completely. And yes, that's very difficult if you are abroad. And as soon as Corona is over, it will be possible. Yeah, but actually, 3/6 of the psychology program will be in the summer. Actually, I hope they can, if possible, go before the summer to the Netherlands and do the inspection.
But it's not only about international students, because Dutch students also, a lot of Dutch students also go back to their family. If their family lives in Achtmar or Beneden-Leeuwen, it takes 3 hours to get to the campus.
Yeah, but that's the same for lectures. We also offer lectures on campus, and what you see actually, quite a few students attend, probably because of what you say. But what I said, we are in a pandemic. You cannot do everything. And the problem with giving multiple choice exams, doing it online, by the way, essay exams are fully online, by the way, you can see them. But when you do multiple choice exams online, it means you can only ask a limited questions. There may be 200, 300, you can make them. If every exam is known to everybody, what will happen is that students will learn all the examples by heart. And that's not actually what you want. It will lead to two things. Students will learn by item and not actually the whole stuff. And secondly, it will lead for the teachers that they have to make more and more and more and more questions in a situation where the work pressure is already high.
And Jasper, what's your opinion on this? First, that students will only studying the questions by heart and not the material itself?
So I would say I think being a university, our exam questions should not just exam us on knowledge reproduction, but should exam us on insight information and how to use the knowledge we have. So I would say that if there are only 300 questions that you can think of, then apparently if a student knows all these questions by heart, he controls all the knowledge that he has to in order to pass the exam. But let's focus on the good stuff. I mean, Bram just explained that our university has done an incredible job in ensuring education digitally for all students, with digital examination, with recording lectures, in order to allow these students back at home to study their program. But it would show good faith, in my opinion, if our university also tries to be creative with coming up with solutions for exam inspections. So, for instance, we already have proctored exams. Why shouldn't we have proctored exam reviews?
Okay, but also the other reason is that the work pressure for the teaching staff. What do you find of it?
Yeah, so I find that right now our teachers are overburdened by COVID. And that is a huge problem, and that it's something that we need to tackle. But it should not be the case that we decrease work pressure for teachers by increasing work pressure or stress for students. It should be, we should do both. So both reduce stress levels for students and reduce workload for teachers. And I actually think that we are a very decentralized university. So it is up to, for instance, the deans to hire more staff if that's necessary, or to pay staff members more hours. Heck, why as a university don't we pay out a COVID bonus to our teachers? These are all very fundamental things which I think all students agree on, that we need to show appreciation for the hard work of our teachers. But we should not do that by taking away basic student rights, in my opinion.
Okay. On a lighter note, I agree on the COVID bonus, not only for teachers, but for all of us. You can take note on that. But Jasper, you believe that the university should have a central regulation for this. Why is it better, and how do you envision that?
Yeah, so as I just said, we are currently a very decentralized university, and that has many advantages, such as great customization for every faculty. So you can get a tailor-made rules for your faculty, which is a good thing. But this also has some obvious downsides, and one of those is that currently there are unequal rights for students at EUR, and I find that personally very strange. So a lot of universities, actually most universities in the Netherlands, are working with model regulations. So education and examination regulations that are models, so that means that they are the same for every faculty. So you can envision that as sort of 70% of the document being standard, and then 30% being adjusted to the faculty.
Okay.
And that has some great advantages, such as allowing for actually taking away the bureaucracy and taking away the work pressure for for faculties, because instead of having the same discussion with your faculty council at 9 different places at the same time, you only have it at one place.
Okay.
And this actually allows for more customization and more in-depth discussions on the things that matter most for faculties.
So, Bram, a central guideline for all faculties, would that be a dream come true, or is it a nightmare?
Actually, I think we have a model OR. But what happens, of course, is especially what is just said. There is a model OR. But what happens in the several programs is that they are filled in differently because programs differ. And actually, I agree that things that could be the same probably should be the same. But in a way, it is already, as you stated, all but programs and examination committees have the right to make in some ways their own things. And that is exactly what is happening then. And then you see a lot of differentiation. And in general, I am a little bit hesitating about centralization, because the danger for centralization is more bureaucracy, of course. But if you can do things in a centralized way and it really reduces bureaucracy and makes things easier, I'm actually not opposed to it.
So maybe we have come to an idea here. But okay, Jasper also said maybe it's an alternative to do a proctored exam review. What do you think of it, Bram?
Yeah, but that is actually what is happening for some of the exams. Because what is happening that we open for essay exams, they are opened on a Monday on 12 o'clock. And students have the time until midnight to review the exam. So that's actually a proctored way of looking at it. And the exception is what I said is indeed the multiple choice exam. And if you do it proctored, of course the problem is that everybody will making screenshots immediately. Let's be fair, that will be happening. And that's what we want to try to avoid.
So, Jasper, last question. What do you find of the trust of the faculty to students?
Well, we have to be true to each other, and it does happen. If you give a student an exam, he will try to save those questions, because that helps him study and it also helps his fellow students. So I actually do see the dangers there. But I would think, there are also these proctor softwares that record the keys you type in. So you can check if someone screenshots, for instance. And I think that, this is the time to look for creative solutions that we make sure that we do not increase the workload for our teachers, but we do give students full rights. And I think that should be safe, and that is obvious to me. So let's work together to come up with solutions that work for all of us.
Okay, so I hope that we are continuing this conversation at on the campus and at the university level also. And thank you for the discussion, Jasper Klasen and Bram Steijn. And we will keep an eye on the matter as December is approaching, and so is the annual exam peak. And talking about exams, this video is for you, fellow students.
So don't wanna die, yeah, when you so don't wanna die, yeah. No, I'm not a riot, I'ma start a riot. I'm so fucking tired, so it's so, what you say?
Thank you all for watching. We will be back next Thursday on 9 a.m. And in the meantime, visit erasmusmagazine.nl.